so this game, this Illuminati card game. First principle is light. Without light, there is no sight. And so you have to have some sort of spiritual or intellectual light in order to have sight dealing with anything in the world. Spiritual and intellectual. Okay, so the universe relies off a grand design, which a lot of people equate to intelligence, intellectual light. Within the universe also is all spiritual as well. It's all spirit. All matter is spirit. So it's the yin and the yang, the intellectual light and the spiritual light. Both of them can be high or low. An intellectual light can be very high or very low. A spiritual light can be very high or be very low. Okay. Now, within the concept of illumination, this card game, it's coming directly, the concepts behind it are coming directly out of the spiritual world. And I've been following the energy of it for a while. And I'm beginning to see that the people we come across in the physical world, that's just their physical appearance. Whether it's somebody who's supposed to be like a famous person, or somebody who's like just an average day person walking the streets, or somebody who's supposed to be highly religious, or it can be a homeless person. It can even be an animal. You know, spirit. Humans are animals, so you can't discount anything in that sense. On the other side of the veil, the spirits are always watching. And so the spirits know who we are more than the physical people. Physical people are going to sit here and say, well, you know, who is this person? That's their name. That's where they live. Oh, I went to school with them, yada, yada. But from the spiritual world, the spirits are going to say, I had about 700 incarnations with this person. You say, whoa, 700 incarnations? A spirit can come along and say that. A spirit can come along and say, I had 700 incarnations with this person. We were in ancient Atlantis doing this, this, and this, yada, yada, yada. And so a spirit has like prime authority on the physical world. I'm not just talking about the Illuminati card game. I'm just talking about the spirit world in general. But within this card game, I think what's being said is the spirits are deciding on what's needed in the physical world. And a lot of it, when you go to the spirit world, things like money don't really mean anything. So in the physical world, oh yeah, oh my God, this person has all these resources and they have all this money and they're doing all this. In the spirit world, it doesn't mean anything. In the spirit world, people can instantaneously create stuff. So a new car or a new house or $10 million or $1 trillion, it doesn't mean anything in the spiritual world. Spirits don't need money. What are you talking? I've been here for 50,000 years in the spiritual world. What do I need? Oh, some money. The money can't help me. And so the spirits, are attracted to energy, and the spirits are attracted to creating things, co-creating with the physical world. Now, there's certain lessons and principles that humans have to go through for growth. If you didn't have obstacles and challenges, there wouldn't be much spiritual growth going on Earth. People wouldn't evolve. People wouldn't learn stuff. And so there has to be a number of those types of things going on at all times. Now, the people on the Earth, they're looking at it like, I'm going to get this out of it, I'm going to get that out of it, and they're going to gain something within the material world that's going to help them. So they're looking at it from a low level. They're looking at it from the material plane, which doesn't really mean very much. But from the spiritual world, looking down on this stuff, it's a whole You know, it's a whole other dimension to reality. And so for the spirits are going to be looking at this stuff 1,000 years. Spirit can say, I was there. What are you talking? I was there in ancient Rome, or I was there in ancient Egypt. I've been in the spirit world for 50,000 years guiding humanity, being a part of this. Humans have gone through this, and this. This has happened, this has happened. Okay, have such and such incarnate in here. See if we can get that arranged. Do this incarnation. Who's on the list? Who may pass away tomorrow? Yada, yada, yada. So the spiritual world constantly got an influx, a strong relationship with humanity from that sense. Not necessarily evil or not necessarily like that. It's just a spiritual relationship. And so overall, humans get a good lesson out of their Earth experience. So if a war happens, you can say a lot of people are going to die and pass away, and that's a bad thing. But all of those people may have agreed to that for such and such reason to go through that. Sometimes it's forced in some senses through a lot of different ways. There's a lot of people being talked into doing things that they normally wouldn't want to do. There's a lot of people being pressured into doing it. There's all sorts of people, you know, who kind of punk out in a sense because they don't have any real insight into really who they want to be and what they want to do. And so if the spirit is weak in a man, then the man's decisions are going to be weak. And so the decisions is based on the spiritual principles. But the spiritual world knows exactly what's going on at all times. The spiritual world just knows everything at all times. The spirits in the spiritual world are constantly watching. They're constantly figuring things out. You can't fool the spiritual world. I like these pyramids. When you go out into the world, and you look at this stuff, most of this stuff, if you've had many incarnations on the planet, most of this stuff you've seen already. I know exactly how they built these pyramids. I can tell you right now how they built these pyramids. They lost their ability to build them. But there used to be a time when humans knew how to build them. It's within the ether. There used to be an oil they used to light up. Some sort of gas substance that went into the ether. The ether is hyperspace. And it would make the blocks weightless. There was a chemical they could use to activate hyperspace in such a way to use these blocks. So there was no people pulling these blocks or no machinery. They guided the blocks like that, directly through the natural substance within the ether. And they used to do it really good. Then they started losing their ability to do it. Now it can't be done. The people... So if you can get in touch with if you can get in touch with a spirit through channeling or whatever like that, some sort of innate ability, they'll give you all this information. Every answer is in the ether. Every answer to everything that's ever happened is in the ether, constantly. Just sitting here, people are putting input into the ether, their thoughts, their actions, everything is going into the ether. So if you want information, getting it out of the ether is the best way to get it. A book, you're only gonna get, you can go to the books, you can go to all that stuff, but the ether is how you pull stuff out and how you do stuff. See, humans are electromagnetic. So the spirits, if you want to find something out that happened, you can get it through the spirits. Spirits can tell you, like I said, the spirits can tell you something that happened 2,000 years ago. Yeah. But this Illuminati card game stuff, is fascinating. See, they want people to see this stuff. They want people to see it. The spirits have an agreement. The spirits have agreements where they have to show people. That's why when I look at, technology is wonderful and computers are great, but nothing can outdo the spiritual. I love textbooks and especially older textbooks that you can order from colleges. If you ever get your hands on some, Harvard textbooks from the 30s and 20s and all that stuff, or get your hands on old dictionaries from the 1800s. That stuff, that's where the best information is. That's the best information you can get. Older books. A lot of books have been, sort of funneled out of the public, but every now and then you can still get your hands on certain books that have been written in certain materials. But the ultimate is the spiritual world. That's the ultimate. What's that guy that came up with that hidden hand thing? The hidden hand Illuminati thing. Let me see. Whoever wrote this was smart. Mother, teacher, destroyer. And 5 is the number of man. That's interesting how they put the symbol as a hand. The birth, the life, and then the ending. Just like any city goes through that. There's a birth, a life, and then an ending. A hidden hand probably is, isn't it? It probably is, probably is coming out of the families of before Atlantis and all that. He was saying he was coming out of families before Atlantis. In the book of Jeremiah, they were talking about how the gods had cities before humans. I'm not religious, but I just remember. That tripped me out about the hidden hand. He said he was from a Venusian group or something, from Venus or something. See, I don't know. This is from a blog on the internet. I mean, who knows what it means? But the Illuminati game, they're working direct. That's directly coming from the spiritual world. They're not talking to men, they're talking to spirits. And ETs and stuff. They're getting schooled by higher powers. And experience is the best learner. You'll never learn anything without experience. Experience is number one. From the time of a child to the time that you transform back into the spirit world. Experience is everything, because ultimately you have to bring that information back with you to the spirit world, and the spirits are learning from watching your experience here. In the spirit, see, when you die, there is no such thing as death. That's an illusion right there. Death is just a change, a transformation. There never is a physical death. A lot of times when people actually die, they don't even know they died. Then you have what's called the party, so to speak. That's the slang in the spirit world. It's called the party. So when you transform, there's like a big party and all this stuff. I'm for real. That's what happens when you pass over into the spirit world. You go into a big party, and so the first thing that's going to happen is the spirits are going to want to know the spirits that's in your soul group, and the people who are here with you on Earth, different sorts of spirits, people you might have had. They're going to want to know what happened. They're going to say, "You were down there for how many years? What happened?" I'm going to say, "I did this happened, and that happened." They're going to say, "Well, look, man, we gave you support when this happened. Why did you do that?" Or, "Why, blah, blah, blah." See, they're going to be trying to figure out from you firsthand, in person, in the spirit realm, what happened? What was going on? A lot of times people die and they come back, they get chances to keep going, but they don't know they actually died. There's people out there who will get in a car accident or something will happen, and they think they'll think, "Oh, I got into a car accident, everything was cool. I survived it." In reality, they died. They actually died. They didn't know it, but they died. And then when they went back into the spirit world said, "Do you want to continue this incarnation?" Then they'll say, "Yeah, I want to continue this incarnation. I want to learn this, 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 and this. So they'll go into what you call a parallel reality, or a parallel version of that reality, so to speak, where it's all the same people are there, all the same things are happening. Mind you, you pass through billions of parallel realities in a second. And so there's people who can die multiple different times and keep coming back and continuing the same life. The spirits have that ability. The spirit world has that power to do that. People think the spirit world stuff is a joke. The spirit world is who people need to be worried about, not man's world. I mean, you don't want to do. You want to go through life and make honest choices and try to be the best person you can and learn from the stuff you go through just like anybody else. But the spirit world is the one that sees it. The spirit world knows everything. You can fool anybody you think you want to that's walking around. You can't fool the spirit world. You cannot fool the spirit world. They know who is who and what is what. How it looks to man is one way. How it looks really going on is a whole different. What did I say about that Illuminati card game? People are going in deep right now. When people incarnate in this reality, there's a lot of people from like ancient Atlantis and Lemurian stuff incarnating into this reality. Like in the spirit world, they're going to the spirits. The spirits who are going to incarnate them. This is how it works. Somebody is going to have a child, and it's like a certain amount of weeks. It's a certain number of weeks, then the spirit incarnates from the spiritual world. It's not right away. The spirit's not there right away. After a certain amount of weeks, then the spirit incarnates. And the spirit oftentimes can pick what location they're going to, who they're living with, the themes and events that's going to go on, and the spirits go in and say, put me in. Like, put me in. Like, just go sit down somewhere, just tell them, put me in, deep, put me in, in 19, blah, 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 put me in. Put them in. And they put them in. Yeah. And there's something underneath those pyramids too. If you look, just like there's Buddhist statues, a lot of those Buddhist statues, you know how they find gold in them? And they find an ancient Buddhist statue, come to find out, there's all kinds of gold in it, and the monastery becomes rich. And they say, we didn't even know it was there. We've had this Buddhist statue for thousands of years, and we peel it open and find gold. Yeah. Just like with these pyramids. There's more to these pyramids than what meets the eye. There's information in them. Underneath those pyramids, there's information there that explains everything about the earth, everything. Those pyramids got secrets. Underneath the pyramid, underground. And the spirits are going to be revealing them too. They're going to make something happen. The spirits are going to make something happen to where it gets presented. They're going to cause an earth. They're going to cause some sort of natural event, or maybe somebody will just. Just like the dolphins. I think the dolphins know where some of that stuff is too. Under the ocean. Dolphins are smart. Dolphins are really smart. They know where there's 13 crystal skulls out there somewhere. Like that were made in another, supposedly the story, they were made in a higher plane. By masters in like the spiritual realm, and they brought them down, put them throughout the earth. And the dolphins, I think, know where some of that stuff is. Those creatures. Spiritual.